Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan Jenkins, in the building. Well, all right. We're back. Now that's how you go trade for a guard.
The best show for Chicago sports.
As the Chicago Bears, now none of these trades have gone through yet, but are planning to trade for all-pro guard Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs. We got to talk about what that means for the team moving forward. Got to talk about the move. Got to talk about what this is going to do for this Bears offensive line and what it means for the team now heading into the draft. Because, dog, that's 2 guards already. That's crazy. All that more today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Like I said, y'all know what to do.
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Per Ian Rappaport, the Bears are expected to trade for Chiefs All-Pro guard Joe Thuney as the Chicago Bears continue to load up on the offensive line. Kansas City gets a bit younger, plus frees up some money to use somewhere else. This is going to open up some money for them per Adam Schefter. The compensation for this trade, Bears are trading a 2026 4th-round pick to the Chiefs for Pro Bowl guard Joe Thuney. This, I think, is to me a very interesting pickup here for the Bears. I like this move overall. Now, age-wise, right, Joe Thuney a little bit long in the tooth, but has been the pinnacle of health in his time in the NFL. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check this. I believe he's only missed what would be 2 games. He missed 2 games in 2022, and other than that, he has played just about every single game of his career, of course, starting off with the New England Patriots and then moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs. So he has been the pinnacle of health. Last season was still an absolute dominant force out there. And hey, Eric, say it with, hold on, say it with me now. Hold on, who just said that? Somebody just said it. Where'd I just see it? Oh, there it is. Dexter said it. Say it with me now. All pro. We ain't talking about Pro Bowls. We're talking about all pro. Now, Corey, I do agree with you. Ryan Poles hates 4th-round picks. I don't know what the situation is there, but I think here's the thing, right? This is a move that I like to see. 1,100 snaps last season for Joe Thuney. Only 1 penalty, 0 sacks allowed. You get experience at the position. You get an experienced offensive lineman. Dare I say you get an experienced leader for this offensive line. You haven't had a leader on the offensive line in 4 to 5 years. Right? Maybe you could say, I think at one point you could say Cody Whitehair was a leader of this offensive line. But you haven't had a leader of this offensive line in a long time. Now it seems like you get that guy in here last season. Now, again, take it all into account. I will say when you're having a conversation around Joe Thuney, you do have to think about the Super Bowl. But just like Trey Smith had a bad day, a bad time to have a bad day. But I like this signing. I like this pickup. I think this is a pickup that actually does move the Chicago Bears in the right direction. I think this stabilizes that offensive line from the guard position, makes me feel a heck of a lot better. Now you're talking about probably slotting in Thuney next to we'll see. I would assume he's slotting in at your right guard position here next to Darnell Wright. I think that excites me even a little bit in this conversation. I think that the Bears are, to me, starting to build out that interior. Now the question is, are they going to go Drew Dolman in this free agency to kind of round out that middle? Does that open things up for left tackle in the draft? Does that open things up for running back in the draft? Calm down now. I don't want to see no running back. Does that open things up for the Bears to go on the defensive line? Let me know how you guys feel about the draft right now. I think what I love about this, though, is again, you're getting people in place who are at the top of the league. You're going out and taking big swings. You're going out for the big name guys. I understand he's a little bit older. More than likely, he's probably going to be a bridge guy for you. You're probably still going to have to take a guard in this draft that can come up after Joe Thuney is done there. And that's okay. Because what you're trying to do is build an offensive line that right now can protect Caleb Williams. Right now. Now, the part that is tough on this is going to be his age 33 season. He's getting $15 million on the books this year, $16 million against the cap, and then he is an unrestricted free agent. Can you get a long-term contract done, or can you get a contract that makes sense for him? I would assume you're not going long-term here, but can you get a contract that maybe makes sense here next season, couple years after that, where you're able to keep him around with a 4th round pick? I would assume that you don't want to just move on from him quickly there. I think that's going to be Ryan Poles' first order of business once he gets in the building. But listen, this is a big boy move at the offensive line. This is a big boy move, and dare I say, this is a move that makes me feel better about the move yesterday with Jonah Jackson. This is a move that makes me feel like, okay, right? You've got the all-pro guy, you've got the top-level guy. If you get the center right and you can get this tackle position right, depending on if it's going to be Braxton Jones or if you're going to go a different direction there, I'm okay with you having okay guards in that spot. By the way, we've already outspent our entire offensive line last season with 2 players. With 2 players, the Chicago Bears have outspent their entire offensive line last season. That's what I want to see you do. Don't go cheap in the trenches. Yes, did it cost you a 4th round pick? Yeah. Does that suck? Yeah, it does. You want to know why? Because you haven't addressed it in the draft well enough. So you got to go after guys like this. But as long as you're going after guys who have been, and like I said, the pinnacle of health, he was 5th in pass block snaps played last season. He was 9th in offensive snaps played last season. He was 37th in penalties among people at that position. He was 1st in sacks allowed. 100th in total pressures allowed last season. Like, he was dominant, and he played most of his time last season at left guard. Where's he going to slot in at this season will be the question. Are you going to slot him more at right guard? He's played both throughout his career. So it is not the end of the world if you do end up having him go out there and play left guard. I'll even say some of this. Do you maybe have him come in and play a little bit of left tackle? Could this be a left tackle of your future? He's been dominant at guard, but he has played snaps at tackle and looked really, really good. I don't know what the Bears' plan is with Joe Thuney just yet, but we'll see. I like what we're talking about right here. I think you have somebody who is flexible, somebody who gives you options. Now, I will say this season at tackle was not a great season for Joe Thuney because he was playing left tackle in the Super Bowl. He is better at guard, but he has had dominant snaps at left tackle. That was the point that I was trying to make there. Let's take a look at some of the super chats in the building, man. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel in that way. Crizzy Cross said, Pole's getting his big backs now to draft a halfback later. Dang it, don't you tell me that. Emilio Brito said, not going to lie, the young combo of Smith-Campbell would have been better, but this is a great close second. Leads me to believe Genty at 10 could happen. Oh, you guys are all in on the running back. Here we go. Killing the villain said, F them picks with a cigarette emoji. Ryan Poles, become your bank education, said, love the show, brother. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. I listen, this is a big move to me for the Chicago Bears. And I think now you have to have the conversation on what is this going to set you up to do? What is this going to set you up to do now moving forward? These are 2 trades that you have made. Is this a guarantee that you're going after Drew Dolman? Aggressive moves early on. The Bears are being aggressive this offseason. The number 1 center target on the market is out there. And can can I interest you in this? Are you going with veteran guards to make a rookie center's life easier? There are some good centers in this draft that I think are interesting. There's also some players like a Gray Zabel who could be in this draft where you look at him possibly as a later on in the first round type of pick who can play that center position, played guard and tackle in college. Could you try and work something like that in there? Like, I think those are the things that, to me, you now have opened up the opportunity for you to go after. Now, would I love to go get Drew Dahlman? 100%. I think that's the conversation that we've all been having. Go get Drew Dahlman. Find a way to get him in the building. Find a way to pay whatever you need to pay. But there is going to come a price where you go, oh, that's crazy. Now having two veteran guards in place, two guys that have done this, that can help out a young rookie center in place, I think that also opens up that option as well. Tevin Jenkins, why didn't we get Debo? Because his receiving percentage is 40%. His successful receiving percentage is 40%. Down 14% from last season. Bears Junkie 55 HOF said, just cuz. Shout out for the super chat, just cuz. I appreciate that love, brother. I appreciate that love. I think listen, to me, this is an exciting deal. This is one that I think the Bears are going to benefit from in many ways. And what I mean by that is you've got Joe Thuney in the building also teaching a young tackle or guard or whatever it is. You know, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to see. This is how you want to make this move. This is how you want to play this. This is how you want, like, just being a veteran leader in the locker room. I think that that's somebody that you could have sign a 2-year deal on top of what you've already got him on. And I think this is something where your goal is have veteran leadership in place until that next guy is ready to go. And hopefully you're able to see more of that. I think this is going to be a very, very good move for the Chicago Bears. I love this move. I think this is going to be great for the Bears. And hopefully this just keeps going. Let's see. Eric says, I don't like Dahlman no more. Atlanta runs this all move in unison type old school. I don't know if he's transferable skills. Let's get the best center in the draft. I mean, the best. Use the money for Mack. I'm not spending $22 million on Khalil Mack if that is what they're trying to go with. But I understand you saying, there's some question marks there. I do still think Drew Dahlman is the best in the draft. I do still think that that's the best that the Bears are going to be able to go out there and get. Why not sign the best? I think that he listen, what you saw from him is exactly what you want to see in a team that is predicated on the run. What you saw from him is exactly what you want to see in a team that plans to run the football heavily. Smaller center, but knows how to use his body, knows how to set an anchor, has an ability to set an anchor, has great feet, can get out in space. Like, those are the things that I think are really beneficial for the Bears. Eric said Thuney is $26 million against the cap this year. Am I reading that right? According to what I'm seeing, you were looking at last season, my boy. We're coming up in the 2025 season. He's $16 million against the cap. He was $26 million against the cap last season. T3P says it's clear that 10th pick is a running back. Okay, sure. I don't believe so. I would say you still have to address the trenches. I'd go Mike Green on the defensive line. I think you could still go Tyler Booker on the offensive line if you want to have somebody kind of slot in there. I will say this. Does this take some of those guard names off of the market for you? Or are you still in on the guard? Maybe you go a little bit more versatile with one of those players, like I mentioned, a Gray Zabel, who can play multiple positions. I think there's still a lot of guys that you could go out there and draft, and you're going to need to create depth. Hey, listen, I'm still having a conversation on an Armand Membo if that opportunity opens itself up for the Bears. El Rey's Fade says, I like Ariante Irsay if he's available in the second. That's an interesting name as well. Augustin says Ben Johnson needed the O-line to be good. He said, go make those moves. I do agree with that. And listen, Ben Johnson said this. Not only are we trying to win, we're trying to win now. Not only are we trying to win, we're trying to win now. We're not trying to win 4 years from now. We're not trying to win. This is not, we're rebuilding everything. We're trying to hit the ground running now. Now, that does not mean don't go out there and make moves to try and improve on your future. That does not mean don't go out there and draft young players that are going to come up behind a Joe Thuney, who I think gives us a little bit of leeway on the offensive line, but you still need to address that top guy, right? You still need to address that not the top guy, but who's going to be the guy after him. But I do think that I do think that this opens up, like I said, a ton of opportunities for the Chicago Bears to continue to build the future of this team by going out now and possibly getting a 26-year-old Dahlman, by going out now and possibly getting a higher rated left tackle. By going out now, like those are the conversations where I think now you could talk about building the longevity of this offensive line. You gave yourself a little bit of a push off year because you don't have to worry about that position now heading into the season. 305 Mike Gray said, can Jackson play center? Would have been nice to sign Zeitler from Detroit to pair with Thuney and Dahlman. No, I think that was the question. That was the problem last season, right? They tried to play him at center. He wasn't very good at center. Got Matthew Stafford sacked a lot, and then you end up sitting him down. So I think that was the problem last season. But nah, man, listen, I love this move. I will say this because somebody, hold on, let me find the comment. Somebody was just talking about the running backs. Yeah, hey, we spent a lot of money at the guard position. I'm here for it. We're spending a lot of money at the guard position. I'm here for it. I will say this about the running backs. I was trying to find a comment that said it. That was here it is. Hey, me if you want. If we land the center in free agency, I draft Genty. I'm still not drafting Ashton Genty, and I'll tell you why. I will though throw an olive branch out there. I'm not drafting Ashton Genty, but I would be intrigued at now taking one of those top running backs in the second round if you lock that up. Because you've got 2 picks in the second round. I think you can address one side of the trenches, whatever that side is in the first round. I think with one of those picks in the second round, you can still address more on the trenches. They don't think it's done because we got Joe Thuney. I love him. He's 32 years old, though. He's going to be 33 by the time the season cracks off. I'm still going out there and drafting the line, but I would be okay now if you're giving me the conversation on running back in that second round. I still stand on the fact that it just doesn't seem logical to go out there and draft a running back in the first round when there's so many good running backs. I'll say this. Y'all know how I feel about Omarion Hampton. I say he's Matt Forte. I'd love to see an Omarion Hampton. Now he may end up being in the first round. He's flying up mock drafts. I need somebody else to get some quarterbacks up there so he starts to slide a little bit. But I love me and Omarion Hampton out of UNC. I'd love to see that on the Chicago Bears. TM said with those 2 seconds, Bears may trade back into the first round. They may. Because I'll say this, there's a lot of offensive linemen that we thought were going to be into the second round that aren't. We thought Tyler Booker was like a 25 guy. Tyler Booker may be a top 10 guy now. Tyler Booker could go top 15 now. Like we thought Tyler Booker was going to be like, all right, he'll probably end up, he's not getting past 20. He may not get past 10. That's the kind that's what I think the pro days, that's what I think the 30 visits and all those things are going to be they're going to be very important for him. Brandon Morgan said, Caleb loading, let's go. Love the show, Pat. Bear down, my guy. Big Bear Dons. 1,100 in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The Bears have such an opportunity. I think that there could be some opportunity for the Bears to trade back in. Next is going to be free agency, unless we just keep making trades, which could be a thing for the Chicago Bears here. Maybe they just keep making trades. But I do think that I would say Drew Dahlman now is your pure focus of the offseason. And dare I say it, right? Maybe you're opening up some opportunity to try and go out there and get one of those defensive pieces. You can see that they are looking to go after big names in the offseason. You can see that the Bears are looking to make big moves in the offseason. They're not looking to wait around, make this team as enticing as possible. I'm still on the Myles Garrett train. Say what you want. I'm still on the Myles Garrett train. We going big or we going home? We saying F them picks or we saying F them picks? Blorange Tears, that's hilarious. Buy Tevin, trade for a pick for a veteran defensive tackle, draft Pierce or Green. I do like James Pierce too. Bring in speed on offense. Where do you want speed at? Are you talking about in the running back room? Are you talking about in the wide receiver room? Are you talking, because I think here's my thing. I would be interested to see some of the receivers out here, but I don't think there's anybody on the list that the Bears are going to be in a position to grab that really stands out. That's like an, oh my God move. I'm not even worried about speed at the receiver position. Now, if you're talking about it in the running back room, yeah, go get speed. I'm fine with that. I'd be fine with, if you continue to make moves like this, I'd be fine with seeing this Bears team go out there and grab one of the running backs a little bit earlier. Now, I don't need it too early. I don't need it 10. But I'd be fine seeing the Bears go out and add some speed in that back room and adding somebody who is someone you can count on, play in and play out. Adding somebody who is someone you can count on, play in and play out. I know for a lot of people that does mean Ashton Jeanty. I wouldn't go that direction. Maybe Ryan Poles does. You fix the trenches, I'll make myself support it. I'll look at it crazy, but I'll make myself support it. Yeah. I think what you said, though, by Tevin is interesting. This all but confirms that Tevin Jenkins is done here. This does all but confirm that Tevin Jenkins is done here. I think that we kind of knew that we were heading towards that. But now I think it's 100%. There's probably zero chance of re-signing Tevin Jenkins at this point. I felt like, I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but they did like the happy birthday to Tevin Jenkins, and he put like that picture of the Chihuahua with like the look, like, yeah, all right, whatever. Like he knew that they were not going to be bringing him back. I mean, listen, we got a question mark on one side health wise. We got an answer on the other side health wise. I'll take it. Let me see. Let me get some more of these questions, man. Send in your questions, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. I gotta get off here in a few minutes, but I got a couple more minutes here because I got to get ready for the Chicago Bears podcast, where we're now going to talk about this. What do we got here? If the Bears do take Jeanty at 10, Ben Johnson is that guy, man. Listen, it's just, I think there's still more that you need in the trenches. Not to say that you can't get it, not to say that you can't make it happen, but I do think there's still more in the trenches. KD said should cut Ryan Bates for that $5 million. Yes, he's depth, but he's literally never healthy. Well, I'll be honest with you, right? He wasn't healthy as a starter. We've seen him be more healthy as a backup. Now he goes back to being that backup. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just thought about worst case scenario. Ben Johnson, you need to save us, bro. Because I'll bet you Ryan Poles thinks he's got his center. Remember, Ryan Bates was supposed to come in here and be the center. Ryan Bates was supposed to come in here and be the center. Oh, Poles, you better not tweak on us now, brother. I like this move. You better not tweak on us now. Who was Darren said, just subscribe. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you, my guy. Pure muscle. He's going to be the center. Yep. No. Could Zabel be 10th? Here's what I've said about, taking a guy like a Gray Zabel who's out of a smaller school 10th. And I think that would cause a lot of kerfuffle around the Chicago Bears. It only matters if you take a guy high like that if it doesn't work. It only matters if you take a guy high like that when it doesn't work. That's it. If Gray Zabel turns into a player in the long run that can play left tackle, can play left guard, can play center, Yeah, take him if you feel he's that good of a player. And I think he's a pretty good player. But if you're looking at the Gray Zabel situation and going, well, how could you take a guy that high? It doesn't make sense. It all depends on how good he's going to be. No one cares if he's a dog, if he's a dominant force on the offensive line that can play multiple positions. We care if he ends up being Cheeks. And I get you can say that with any player, right? But it is about, right, doing the evaluation, doing the due diligence, meeting with this young man, figuring out, can he do this not at North Dakota State, but now going into the NFL? Can you continue to play at that level? I think that's the part for me where I wouldn't mind if you take a Gray Zabel at 10. It would be a tougher sell for me. It would be a tougher sell for me. I will say that. I think that right now the Bears' focus needs to all be on getting the center position addressed, getting Caleb Williams a consistent center. I love the fact that they're fully invested in going out and putting players in front of Caleb Williams that do have experience in this league, that aren't as big of question marks. I do still, like I said, I've still got questions on the Jonah Jackson trade, but am I going to sit here and tell you that it's the worst trade ever? No. I think he's an answer in the run game. I think the biggest question is the injury concerns, which was Tevin Jenkins. But with Joe Thuney, I think you've got an answer. And that's the biggest thing. That's what this offseason is. Getting answers for the things that have been questions for so long. I posted a clip on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, follow me. If you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at Pat the Designer. I posted a clip on Twitter of the of me talking about Ryan Poles before his first draft 3 years ago, March 2nd, 2022. And it's me talking about Justin Fields because he was the quarterback at that point. And I said, you're never really going to know what you got in Justin Fields unless you build the offensive line. That needs to be the biggest focus for the Chicago Bears this offseason. Big shocker. It wasn't. This is the most we've ever seen the Bears invest in the offensive line. I can't even remember. When's the last time we said since early on, since when Olin was here? Since early in Olin's career? We haven't seen the Bears invest in the offensive line like this. Like I'm excited about this because it feels like you're actually investing in pieces for your quarterback. Shocker. El Rey's face said Brisker's contract is going to be interesting next season. Yeah, it might be a little bit tough, but I will say this. If you're investing in the trenches, as much as I love some of these guys, I'm fine with you moving on. I'm fine with you not re-signing guys. I'm fine with you having certain pieces that we think are pieces, but then you move on from, because if the trenches are right, you will always be able to find that guy again. If the trenches are right, you will always be able to find that guy again. It's why I keep saying about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett creates Jalen Johnsons. That's the kind of pressure he brings. We sit there and we talk about the wide receiver position and, how's this guy going to be able to make this work if he's not there and this ain't there and this ain't happening? And then you get an offensive line in place and the quarterback drops back and he's got guys running wide open because he's got protection and he gets rid of the football and all of a sudden they catch it and then you go, oh, well, yeah, it worked out. When you have the offensive line in place, usually you're in a position to go out there and actually be more successful and have an opportunity to create some of those guys that you move on from. So if we miss out on a Brisker, it would suck. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the end of the world. Because if you get a Mason Graham, and you have to pay him, who I would love to get in the first round. The Mason Graham prayer circle that Shea Norling has going seems to be working, as maybe they're going guard in Jacksonville at 5. That, to me, makes the most sense for the Chicago Bears. You invest in the trenches. We always wonder, how are we able to find DBs and running backs and or DBs and linebackers and safety? Like, when you fix the trenches, those guys pop up. They don't have to be great. I always say, look at Kyler. What was it? Kyle Fuller. Look at Kyle Fuller before Khalil Mack. Look at Kyle Fuller after Khalil Mack. Before, with, after. Before and after look very similar. He didn't forget how to play football. He didn't have the same defensive pressure in front of him. You're investing in the trenches. To me, that's the most important piece of all of this, man. But hey, I got to go get ready to do the Chicago Bears podcast. It's going to be me, Jason McKee, and special guest on today, Brandon Thorne, who does a ton of work with offensive linemen, breaking down offensive line, talks to all the offensive linemen in the draft. Make sure to tune in with us on that as well. It's going to be a very, very fun day of Bears content. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We will be back live with more content today. Of course, if any news breaks, we'll be back in on that as well. Let me double check, make sure there's no news before I get the heck up out of here. All righty. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.